how confident are you in Denver winning the series, Nate?
I said this once Michael Malone got fired. Just like every single one of these teams that I've said this about, I'm actually really nervous because the Clippers are riding an extreme high. James Harden's playing well. Kawhi Leonard, I'm going to show you the numbers. Over that 21-game span, he's played 17 of those games. He's on a tremendous high as well. This team is on an incredible run here, and Denver is trying to find this motivation after their head coach got fired, and they are riding a 3-game winning streak. So that's not to be understated whatsoever. You fire your head coach, everybody thinks it's all doom and gloom, including what we thought, and all of a sudden now you're riding a 3-game winning streak into the playoffs. That's the momentum that the Denver Nuggets would need in order to have them as the favorites in this series to go out and beat the Los Angeles Clippers. But I think the X factor for this series is one of two things. One of which is, as I've said on the show, the Denver Nuggets are having the worst defensive rating performance of their franchise's history. Every single one of the key players of the Denver Nuggets are having their worst defensive season of their careers. That includes Russell Westbrook's very elongated career. This year, it's his worst defensive performance. And everybody remembers how everybody ripped on his performance with the Los Angeles Lakers. This season, he performed worse defensively. Michael Porter Jr. is having his worst season defensively. Jamal Murray's having his worst season defensively. Aaron Gordon's having his worst season defensively. And Nikola Jokic, while he is the best defender on the Denver Nuggets, he's having his worst defensive performance of his career. Kawhi Leonard is the other X factor here. Because as he, I forgot the exact content, he texted somebody about how he was healthy. And this is the Kawhi over that 21-game span. They're 15-2. Averaging 25 points, 7 boards, 52% from the floor, 46% from 3, and a net rating of 16.0. That's massive. He has a 107 defensive rating and a 123 offensive rating. So him healthy, this is the Kawhi that we wanted to see for those several years when he's dealing with injuries consistently. This is the superstar Kawhi Leonard that everybody expected when you let him team up with James Harden, with Lou at the head coaching spot. This is the Kawhi Leonard we expected to see, and that should have led the Clippers to multiple playoff appearances and won multiple playoff series. But Kawhi's been banged up, dealing with injuries. He was out early this year with an injury. So if Kawhi can maintain this level of effectiveness on the court, yeah, I'm terrified for the Denver Nuggets, especially when you don't have Edelman should be a fine interim head coach. He, like I mentioned, 3-0 so far. But in late playoff game situations, does he have the experience to drop the right play for Nikola Jokic, for Jamal Murray, who should be coming back, for Aaron Gordon if he's the key guy? Can Michael Porter Jr. hit his shots? Or will he be like the MPJ that we saw a couple playoff series ago, where he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 3 and he kept shooting ineffectively and it was just a bad look entirely? And Nikola Jokic being that only factor on both sides of the ball. And Nikola Jokic is not a tremendous defender, but him being the best one, that just shows you what the state of the Denver Nuggets. They're the 4 seed. Nikola Jokic is having arguably one of the best non-MVP seasons because just based on the favorites, he's not projected to win the MVP. It's a runaway MVP for SGA, which I think is ridiculous. And I thought when Nikola Jokic won last year, Doncic was like a plus 4,000. He averaged 33, 9, and 9. So it was ridiculous how just separated that point spread was when it came to those odds. So I think Jokic is having arguably one of the best seasons a player's ever had. He's only the 3rd player in NBA history. Average a triple-double. He's a point center, as you always like to say. Again, never really heard the term coined before. I'm not saying you started the term, but I'm very active on sports media. Didn't really hear it before you said it. Okay. As much as you said it.
Well, that's what he is.
Absolutely, that's what he is. He's the 3rd player in NBA history to average a triple-double and the first center to ever do it. Mm-hmm. So if he's the only guy distributing the basketball, rebounding effectively, dropping 30 points a game, and I already told you before, he dropped a 60-point triple-double.
And lost. No, they can't play that way.
That's this Denver Nuggets team.
They won't win. They won't win against the Clippers if they play that way.
I completely agree with you.
Okay, so, the Clippers are, this should be a very competitive series. The Clippers are the 5 seed, the Nuggets are the 4 seed. They each have the same record, 50-32. The Clippers have won 8 in a row. The Nuggets have won 3 in a row. They seem to be getting the bounce off their new interim head coach. teams split the regular season matchup 2 games apiece. Season stats show that the Nuggets are, I think, a better offensive team, and the Clippers are a better defensive team. The Clippers average 113 points a game. The Nuggets 121 points a game. The rebounds are pretty close, 44 to 46. Assists, this is where the Nuggets out-assist the Clippers. The Clippers at 25. The Nuggets at 31, which is a pretty big difference there. Turnovers about the same, 13, about 14 a game for the Clippers and about 14 for the Nuggets. Points allowed here, well, the Clippers have a better defense, 108. You just talked about how poor the individual players on the Nuggets have played defense this year. The Nuggets allowing 117 points a game, but scoring 121. The Clippers won the first 2 games, which were 109 to 104, 126 to 102, so they were very close. The Nuggets blew them out in the last 2 games, 120 to 98 and 126 to 103. The top players for the Clippers, and it's a little bit of a little strange here when you say Harden at 22.8 points and 8.7 assists is a top player because Leonard is back now, and he's really given them a boost. And he is their, premier player. We'll see what he does in the playoffs. He's played very well since coming back off injury. He missed the first 33 games of the season. The Nuggets, of course, it's Jokic, and he had a career year, an all-NBA historical year at almost 30 points a game, almost 13 rebounds a game, and 10 assists, averaging a triple-double. We talked about MVP candidates, and I said I thought that Alexander would win. But I thought Jokic really is the guy that has the numbers to justify getting the MVP yet again for the second year in a row. The wild cards to me in this series are Leonard, who is healthy and must contribute big minutes and scoring for the Clippers to have a chance. And on the other side, Murray, he's can he rebound from the recent injuries to play effectively and play like he plays in the playoffs, which is big. Generally, he plays very well in the playoffs. Clippers finished the season on a 7-0 run, undefeated in April. Harden has had a 5-game streak with 20 points and 10 assists. The only other player with such a streak was, guess who? Jokic. He had 3 streaks, 6, 5, and 5. Leonard has a 50% playoff shooting percentage and is the only player with at least 400 three-pointers and average 50%, which is amazing, I think. He shot 587 threes in the playoffs, and overall he has a 50% shooting percentage, so that is big. That shows how good he is. Zubek, we haven't said anything about him yet, but he had 16.8 points a game, 12.6 rebounds, and a shooting percentage of 63%. Wilt Chamberlain is the only other player to match those stats, and that was in 1966-67. So Zubek against Jokic is going to be very interesting. Also, on the coaching side, we know that the Nuggets fired their head coach and their GM just very late in the season with only 3 games to go. On the other side, you have Tyronn Lue, who has a .593 win percentage as a playoff coach, and which is 8th best in NBA history, minimum 50 games played. Among the 10 with this are or better win percentage, are 8 of them are in the Hall of Fame, 7 as a coach, 1 as a player, and the other 2 are Kerr and Lue. So Tyronn Lue is a good coach, and is David Edelman up to the task here? He's stepped in, and for the small sample size that we have, I think he's got them playing the way they could win this series and maybe go deeper into the playoffs because they're taking pressure off Jokic with better performances by Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon. The new coach has had them take on more responsibility as cutters and slashers, and they're picking up more responsibility and taking pressure off Jokic. Jamal Murray will also have to return to playoff form. Jokic needs to be a distributor. They will lose if he tries to put the team on his back and scores 50 or 60 points a game. I think for the Clippers to win, they need strong performances from Harden and Leonard. They need Zubac to slow down and frustrate Jokic, who is a premier low-post threat in the NBA. Jokic's worst offensive efficiency this year came against the Clippers, so that's something that Zubac can handle. The Leonard-Gordon matchup will be fun to watch. This is the first time that Leonard plays against the Nuggets this season, so to me, that's really the wild card, how Leonard plays in this game, in this series, and in this first game. I think the Nuggets are going to win the first game. They're playing at home, and they'll cover the 2.5-point spread.
I mean, what's interesting is that, yeah, they won 18 of the last 21, the Clippers did. But they weren't all games against bums like the Warriors, you could argue, when they first got Jimmy Butler. They were doing incredible, but they played against Charlotte and the Knicks and teams that you wouldn't say, you know what?
Knicks.
Would you say Knicks a difficult competition, though? I'm not saying that. They can't be good teams. The Clippers blew out Cleveland by 13 points. Blew out Houston, a defensive team, by 17 points. And we just saw them in the regular season finale, stakes pushed to the table. Beat Golden State in an overtime game and shut them down defensively in overtime. So if they could do that, if they could go up against Jokic, if they can go up against Jamal Murray, make them uncomfortable, you know what? It's going to be exactly like the Celtics did with Giannis in their playoff series. Let Jokic get his. Because we've already seen Jokic can drop 50 points, 60-point triple-double, and they lose. I think they're 2-5 in games where Jokic scores, I think, 48 points or more. How? It's because your team is not deep. It's super reliant on Nikola Jokic to perform well. And even when he does, you don't have anybody who's defensively that can make a stop when it matters and seal the game. So Jokic has to be the best defender, the best passer, the best rebounder, and the best scorer. At some point, you're going to say, I can't do this anymore. And against the Clippers team, and by the way, here's the interesting thing, they both shoot the ball very effectively from three, but don't attempt a lot. The Nuggets are dead last in three-point attempts. The Clippers are second to last in three-point attempts. The Nuggets are fifth in three-point percentage. The Clippers are seventh. Here's the key, though. Stopping teams from making threes. The Clippers are a top 5 three-point defensive team. The Nuggets are 22nd. So that's going to be a massive X factor in this, because if you can't stop Kawhi's mid-range, which is extremely lethal, James Harden gets going because he's really good in the first round of the playoffs. But in elimination games, I think he's shooting, 20% from the floor? Or 20% from the floor in elimination games. So if you get him to the second round, that's where I'm a little bit nervous of James Harden. I think the Clippers can seriously do damage to the Denver Nuggets. So you know what?
So who's going to win?
I'm taking Clippers in 6.
Really?
I'm taking Clippers in 6.
And this game, the first game?
The first game, I would need to look at the injury report. I think Jamal Murray should be back. I'm taking the Clippers to win game 1.
Wow.
I'm taking the Clippers in game 1.
And the Clippers in 6.
Clippers in 6.
I'm taking the Nuggets in 7.
Ooh. If this game, I'd be very surprised if this game goes, if the series goes 7.
Yeah.
Because that would mean Nikola Jokic does some historic things, or Jamal Murray wakes up, or this team does something uncharacteristic for this season's performance and they actually play good defense. Or we could see it on the opposite side. James Harden becomes playoff James Harden, where he just doesn't show up. Kawhi might get hurt. But I agree. Going up against a brand new head coach in Adelman versus Tyronn Lue, who you listed off, is amongst some Hall of Fame coaches.
Yeah.
When it comes to it,
they both have the same
experience.
record in the regular season, but you can argue that the Clippers' record would have been much better if
Kawhi missed a third of the season.
33 games.
Yeah, he missed nearly half the season.
Yeah.
And in this 21, let's bring up the numbers again. During the 21 game span, he played 17 of those games. They're 15-2, and look, 46% from 3. That net rating, I believe, would be second in the NBA. Because I think SGA is like a 17 rating or something ridiculous like that. I might be wrong. That might be number 1, but it's definitely well up there in net rating if that was Kawhi throughout the entire season.
Well, I think the Nuggets will win the first game.
Give me the Clippers.
Playing at home.
Give me the Clippers Saturday afternoon. Give me the Clippers in the series. I think the Clippers win in 6 games.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner. right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.